Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting industry. If you're watching us on Smart TV, you can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. You can also listen to us audio-wise. We got Pandora Podcast, Samsung Podcast Platform, as well as Amazon Music. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Please keep those coming in. We love hearing from everybody out in the community. This week, state and national reports. We've got December benchmarks and records from several states. We've got Iowa, Maryland, Michigan, Maine, and also some of the first January numbers from New York State.
It's amazing all these records we're getting. I mean, this year seems like starting from September on, just every month there's a record.
We've also got some numbers from SimpleBet regarding the college football season.
Okay. All right.
Over in the deals segment, we've got deals involving Sports Illustrated. We've got Prohibet deals, the latest but prize picks, as well as a pair of esports betting deals. Industry updates, state launches and licenses. As usual, we have some ESPN bet numbers that are impressing people from a couple different states.
Okay. All right.
We've got a pair of FanDuel announcements as well. Then we're going to finish up with our legislative roundup with news coming out of North Carolina, Georgia, Utah, and New York State.
Okay, now I'm curious. Utah, now what I got to sit through the whole show to find out about Utah now. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We'll start talking state and national reports right after this.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-479-3522. That's 800-479-3522. 800-479-3522.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. This week's state and national reports, we're going to start off with the December sports betting report from the state of Iowa. State of Iowa recorded a record operator revenue of $26.25 million. That is a brand new record, beating the one previously set back in September of 2022 by about, $1 million, basically.
Okay. All right.
State also reported its fifth month of at least $20 million in revenue from the operator side of the industry.
You know, when Iowa starts breaking records, that's when you know the sports betting industry is really doing well. I mean, it's a great market, and even that's going up.
And the state's total handle passed $7.5 billion all time.
Wow. Great.
Over in Maryland also released their December sports betting report. The state of Maryland set a new sports betting handle record for the second consecutive month, about $559.9 million, just a hair under $560 million in state handle. The state also set a record for adjusted gaming revenue with $43.2 million.
I wonder how much the Ravens' success this year has helped that state out a lot in the sports betting area, you know?
It might have helped a lot.
I'm very curious. I'm sure after the season's over, I'm sure we're going to see all those numbers coming out of Maryland, and how their football team really helped the success of sports betting.
Well, according to the December report, the newest entry, ESPN Bet, finished third in handle for the state. Mm-hmm. Their mobile handle jumped from 6% in November to 7.8% of the market share in December.
Well, that name recognition helps a lot. I mean, first off, if you ever watch ESPN, ESPN Bet's all over it.
Also, the sign-up bonus really helps.
Sure. This is
they've already reduced the sign-up bonus, so we're going to start seeing real numbers for ESPN.
Well, they're in their customer acquisition stage.
Yes.
So you're going to see some really great sign-up offers.
And FanDuel reported a record state handle for itself of $245.02 million in the month. Over in Michigan, we've got the December report for the retail sports books in the state, and according to the Michigan Gaming Control Board, most of this was helped out by the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, no,
also the Michigan Wolverines.
Sure, absolutely. Michigan have incredible football teams, both college and pro, and I'm sure that's fueling a lot of excitement in the sports books.
And as we just mentioned in Maryland, FanDuel had a great month. FanDuel's retail book at the Motor City Casino set a state revenue record for the second consecutive month with close to about $2.4 million in gross revenue. More than 88% of that revenue came in the final 2 months.
Wow, okay.
Yes. Motor City had a very, very bad summer. They went negative for a while.
Okay. Well, but they had a good fall, though.
Yep. And also in Michigan, we have Greektown's ESPN Bet branded sportsbook. They went $2.2 million in revenue, all-time monthly high there as well.
Great.
Over in Maine reported their December numbers. Maine's kind of unusual because there's only 2 sports books to talk about, but they're making a lot of money already with this $44.48 million handle.
It's a big state,
yes,
and they not a lot of competition there,
No.
So that's either these 2 sports books or nothing.
Yeah. Well, handle's up 18% month over month. Mm-hmm. Revenue is down about 5-6% though. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of evening out, I guess. Sure. DraftKings had $35 million of the overall $44 million, with Caesars catching the rest, $9 million left, whatever's left there. And the all-time handle already has passed $82 million for the state.
Okay. And
they're only 2 full months in operation.
I know it's called Vacation Land, but so you really have to enjoy the outdoorsy stuff. But sometimes the weather gets so bad that there's not a lot to do, and this really kind of picks up the slack of a boring couple of months in Maine. And someone did a joke, I spent a year one weekend in New England, so so one more thing to do in Maine, which is good.
Moving down the coast, we're going to New York State. They released their numbers for the week of January 7th. 18th straight week of at least $400 million in weekly handle, and also 18th straight week of at least $20 million in gross gaming revenue. They had $451 million in handle, $31 million in weekly gross gaming revenue. Couple of benchmarks also from the week of ending January 7th. We've got FanDuel passing $6 billion in handle for the current fiscal year. It's not even a full year. It's April 4th. Mm-hmm. Caesars passed $1.5 billion for the fiscal year in handle, and also BetMGM passed $70 million in revenue for the current fiscal year.
These numbers are amazing from all the states, and I can't wait to see the numbers, through the NFL playoffs and through the Super Bowl, which is always a benchmark betting event. So with these numbers across the country being incredibly high, I'm very curious to see, after the NFL season is over, the playoff and Super Bowl numbers, because they're going to go through the roof.
Well, speaking of playoffs, we have a report from SimpleBet regarding the college football national championship game.
That's a nice segue there.
Yes, there you go.
All right, look at that.
$5 million in handle across all their operators for the national championship game. Mm-hmm. Also, the 2 semifinal games each had $3.5 million in handle, mm-hmm. And also over 110,000 bets on each game.
Okay.
So they were having a really good football season,
absolutely.
college football season.
I can tell you the Michigan and Washington game. I know a lot of people were on Washington, so I would and all of a sudden they started losing and losing and losing, and then I would assume that a lot of people who had money on Washington tried to recoup some of their losses by in-play betting. So I would think that would be incredibly high.
One other note, they also reported that they saw nearly 100% increase in bets placed from a year-over-year difference between last season and this season.
Sure.
That's it for the state national reports. Let's head on over to some deals. Churchill Downs Incorporated announced a multi-year partnership between Churchill Downs Racetrack and Sports Illustrated for the exclusive naming rights of a new luxury dining experience.
I love this. I love what Sports Illustrated is doing with this.
This is called Club SI, what they're going to be launching here, and it should be up and running by the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby on May 4th, 2024.
What an event that's going
Yes.
to be, huh? 150th running.
This is actually scheduled, the Club SI is scheduled to debut opening night of Derby week as part of the renovated paddock project at Churchill Downs.
What was that, like $200 million?
$200 million.
Wow, unbelievable.
It's interesting. Club SI, they're going to have iconic Sports Illustrated magazine covers,
Okay.
which is cool in and of itself.
Yeah.
They're going to have editorials featuring past Kentucky Derby races, and also during the opening of it, they're going to have a sneak peek into Sports Illustrated new SI Resorts vertical.
Wow.
No word on what exactly an SI resort will entail, whether it's going to be casinos or hotels or whatever, but you do have the SI Sportsbook.
Do they have
hanging out there.
locations mentioned yet? Or
Nothing's been mentioned
They're going to
yet.
announce that later? Okay.
So brand new Club SI for the Kentucky Derby. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, no, it sounds great.
Over in other news, we have Prohibet and Circa Sports entering a partnership for the utilization of Prohibet's platform and protecting integrity monitoring.
Which is really important.
Yep. We have Prize Picks. Every so often we talk about Prize Picks. They have announced an exclusive multi-year partnership agreement with Wave Sports and Entertainment, which is a podcast network.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
The deal includes exclusive sponsorship of New Heights, which is the podcast hosted by the Kelseys,
Okay.
Jason and
Great.
Travis. Prize Picks will also serve as presenting sponsors for a whole bunch of other series, including Carmelo Anthony series, Paul George's podcast series. Bomani Jones has a podcast there.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So, as well as a whole bunch of other new shows coming up.
Oh,
and
great.
You're going to see Prize Picks branding all across YouTube, their audio, the show art for the different podcasts. Their branding is going to be everywhere.
Great. Good.
Couple of esports deals to talk about real quick. Smarkets, which is a betting exchange, has announced a partnership with PandaScore for their esports betting feed.
Okay. What
The
is
odds
that called
feed.
again?
Smarkets.
Smarkets.
Yes, they've been around for quite a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
See, I'm getting more and more familiar with the esports universe.
They will be getting the odds feed from PandaScore, which covers titles such as League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike. Not sure if it's Counter-Strike 2, but they say Counter-Strike. They're also going to have micro-betting products, bet builders, all part of this deal.
See, that's cool. I like that.
Yes, I like the micro-betting product for this.
I think betting in esports is going to have a big year in 2024. I think everything is going to move forward with esports betting. That's just my prediction. So I have no inside information on that.
And Sports Information Services, SIS for short, announced a deal to supply its sports betting product called Competitive Gaming through Playtex online and retail sports betting platforms. SIS is the group that puts on their own esports tournaments. They're in-house. They're running 24/7. And they have their own commentary, on-screen graphics, unique betting prompts as well.
Good.
So a nice whole new suite of esports betting products for Playtex online and retail
See, that's
platforms.
awesome. Yeah, no, that's great.
That's it for the deals this week. We'll start talking industry updates right after this.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Industry updates. We're going to start off talking about recent state launches. We have two, as a matter of fact, recently. Delaware launched its online sports betting, becoming the 29th U.S. jurisdiction with legal mobile wagering.
Wow.
Very soon after, we have the state of Vermont launching their online sports betting industry, becoming the 30th U.S. jurisdiction with legal mobile sports betting.
Okay.
They're also the sixth and final New England state to have some form of legalized sports betting in the region.
Now, Vermont is only online, correct?
Right.
They don't have any retail or
Nope.
they don't. I don't even think they have any casinos. They don't have any casinos, right?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
They have nothing.
They have
up there.
they have online sports betting.
Exactly.
So.
They're the 30th with mobile.
Which,
legal
by the
mobile.
way,
Yep.
during the winter months in Vermont,
What else are you going to do?
right now, they're probably buried in snow right now. But every week they have a storm. So I think sports betting is going to do very well in Vermont.
They're the 30th with legal mobile, 37th with legal sports betting and live sports betting. So they also launched their three sports books, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fanatics Betting and Gaming, all
Okay.
launched. Kind of interesting. FanDuel, it's the 21st state for them, 10th state for Fanatics, and the 26th U.S. state for DraftKings.
Nice, good.
So DraftKings is pretty much everywhere in New England. They pretty much own New England, I think, right now.
Yeah, DraftKings, they have a their corporate office is in Boston.
Yeah.
So and I think New Hampshire, they are the only sports.
They are
book
the
there.
exclusive,
So,
yes.
yeah.
So they are everywhere in New England.
Is New Hampshire the only state that only has one sports book? I mean, one sports book operator. It's a weird kind of
Florida.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
So all right.
And also Oregon, which is DraftKings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so okay, good. No, I'm just curious about that because I always hear, who's in the state, and I know North Carolina. You're going to be talking about it pretty soon. There's a whole flurry of sportsbook operators jockeying to try and make deals and get it market access in the state. I'm just every time we talk about New Hampshire, it's one sportsbook. So.
Well, as we are talking about the one sports book, there is one sports book everyone is talking about.
Okay.
And that's the launch of ESPN Bet and what their market share has become regarding different states here. As a matter of fact, some people are saying they are already a Tier 2 sportsbook in Maryland,
Okay.
which is a huge jump from just launching with Barstool. Penn Entertainment, they have about 8% share of the market nationally by handle.
Okay.
But again, that puts them equal with Caesars and ahead of BetMGM.
Interesting.
Already.
Wow, interesting. I guess getting ESPN Bet was a really good move.
Yep. Well,
That's why I said name recognition's everything, man.
it's part name
you
recognition.
turn on ESPN, you can't help but see ESPN Bet everywhere.
Well, it's part name recognition, part the promos.
Okay.
So you got if you include the promos with their handle, it's 14%, especially in a state like Maryland. The expectations was about a 10% market share from Penn Entertainment when they first announced this deal. You look at what's going on, it's 14% with the promotions. You knock the promotions out, it goes back down to about 7-8%. That's a good baseline everyone is saying for what it's going to be once the promos are out of there.
Yeah.
So we'll see exactly what happens with the ESPN bet, but they are impressing everybody, especially in Maryland. And as we said earlier, they're third place in Iowa already.
Well, like I said, whenever a sports book launches, you get the great promos, the bonuses, the deposit matches, and sometimes you get the free bets or whatever they want to do. But no, this is an important time for a sports book because this is they always call the customer acquisition phase. So that's what they're in now.
And also regarding ESPN Bet's downloads on national level, DraftKings and FanDuel regained the top 2 spots. ESPN Bet had the top for a while. They are now back down into third. ESPN Bet with a 19% share. That's a drop of almost 50% in terms of downloads.
Well,
yeah,
the curiosity factor.
Something to keep in mind when you move forward with ESPN Bet analysis.
They're going to now drift into the customer retention stage.
Yes.
That's the buzz.
Well, no, they're still doing customer acquisition.
No, I know that.
I think
know
for
that,
at least
but,
another 6 months, they're still customer acquisition.
So I still have to check them out. I haven't looked closely at ESPN.
It's very
yet.
sleek, very sleek book. So
okay, no, I haven't looked at it yet.
Over in Massachusetts, we have Jackpot.com launching in the state, or the Commonwealth, I should say. That's their 4th market.
Okay.
They will be offering Powerball, Mega Millions, Mass Cash, and Lucky for Life through the online service. More to come.
All right.
Over in Kansas, we have the Prairie Band Casino and Resort announcing that they have become the first tribal casino to launch its own sportsbook in the state.
Nice.
Very nice sportsbook, by the way, if you take a look at the images.
Oh, okay. We have the images. All right.
Yes. First bet was placed by the chairman of the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation, $20 on the University of Kansas to win the national championship.
Okay.
Over in Indiana, we have the Terre Haute Casino Resort announcing its opening days. The casino will open April 5th to go 24/7, as a matter of fact, and May 15th will be the adjacent hotel.
Okay.
The casino is going to have about 1,000 slot machines, 34 gaming tables, and 9 food and beverage venues. So big food court probably.
Good. I like that.
And a 10-story luxury hotel will have about 125 rooms.
Okay.
Last entries for this week in the industry updates, we've got 2. FanDuel announced the Kick of Destiny 2.
Yeah, I just saw the commercial for that.
With Carl Weathers at the end.
Yes, I saw that.
This year it's going to be done in front of a live audience.
Okay, so it wasn't done live
last
year.
time.
Okay, all right. So,
and also one other note: FanDuel has bought a 50,000 square foot building in Beverly Hills.
Interesting.
They don't have any operations in California, but I guess this is a step toward maybe looking ahead at California sports betting.
Well, maybe, or they have fantasy sports. I would guess doing there. So no, it'd be interesting.
No,
it's an interesting move.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. They got it cheap too, $70 million.
Okay, yeah.
For Beverly Hills?
Yeah, I'll get 2 of them.
50,000 square foot Beverly Hill office building.
Nice, okay.
Yes. That's it for the industry updates. Let's finish up with our legislative roundup. Finishing up the show, we're going to start our legislative updates in North Carolina. We've been spending a lot of time each and every week on North Carolina because they're getting their sports betting industry closer and closer to up and running.
Maybe, a little over a month, maybe? They didn't give a specific date. All they said was after the Super Bowl, but before March Madness. So I guess you got those 3 or 4 weeks in between.
Still no actual launch date announced yet, but the North Carolina State Lottery Commission has informed every operator that they need to complete a checklist to receive a certificate of compliance following their licensing approval so they can launch.
Okay.
If they don't have the certificate of compliance, they will not be allowed to launch in the state.
So get your checklists done.
Right. Get everything done before we launch in the state.
Okay.
Over in Georgia, we have Senate Bill 172 being resubmitted to the legislature. This is the second time in I think 2 years now. Bill made it as far as the 3rd reading last time.
Okay.
So hopefully it makes it a little further again this time. We've got SP 122, several license types. We've got Type 1, online sports betting providers. Type 2, which would be retail licenses.
Okay.
And then also a Type 2 sports betting distributor license for kiosks.
Oh, okay.
Yes. According to the bill, there is no limit on the number of licenses the state will be giving out. There are minimums, minimum 6 Type 1 and 5 Type 2 permits.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no ceiling on this.
So that's just a bill right now.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right.
So it's just a bill. It's going to start moving forward through everything. Over in Utah.
Oh, okay. This is the one I'm waiting for. What's going on in Utah?
Utah.
By the way, they just set the stage for Utah. They don't even have a lottery, right?
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness.
Utah is one of a handful of states. Alabama, Alaska, Hawaii, Nevada. None of those have lottery systems.
Yes.
We now have a state rep introducing a bill to introduce the first ever state lottery.
Okay.
This is a lottery that could inject up to $200 million into the state, and the money would be used for alleviating the financial strain on seniors facing rising property taxes in the state.
Okay.
Always good to have a altruistic goal attached to a lottery bill.
You know, it brings in a lot. Lottery brings in a lot of money to states.
Yes. Well, they're surrounded by lottery states.
Sure.
Oh, I think most of the
I would
non-operating,
I would think so.
non-lottery states are surrounded.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what happens in Alabama. Alabama's got some legislation too. But again,
I would guess people who live along the borders of the state just go across the border and pick up their lottery.
That's
and
what
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
They travel to Idaho, Wyoming, Arizona to purchase lottery tickets.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, I think we had a story in our other show, Beating the House, from a Utah resident who went cross state and won a couple $1 million.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying to stop that.
Well, look, I mean, you have to have the realization, just because you don't have lottery doesn't mean your citizens aren't playing lottery. So if they're playing it anyway, why not make some money off it and help the state out?
Well, they have to deal with the dominant religion in the state, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who are against all forms of gambling.
Okay.
Over in New York, we've got Senator Joseph Adabo and also Assemblyman Pretwell.
Yes, absolutely. Big champions of not only sports betting, but online casinos and online poker.
Well, they are now online casino and online lottery advocates.
Nice. Good.
Both of them introduced some new bills. This one was introduced by Joseph Adabo himself. It's a bill that would legalize online casino and internet lottery in the state. Senate Bill SB S8185 is the number for it. Eligible parties for online casinos would be the land-based casinos, the 4 upstate, and the 3 new ones that are coming.
Okay, so there's going to be part of his bill is there has to be a partnership between an anchoring property. Is that what the bill is for online casinos? Like in New Jersey?
Sort of, yeah. Okay. But the 7 casinos basically in the state, when the other 3 happen, there'll be 7 total.
Okay.
The 3 racetracks are also eligible.
Oh, okay, good.
And also the 3 New York in Native American tribes are eligible as long as they maintain a compact with an amendment for online gambling.
Okay.
Then they'll have 3 additional licenses that are untethered for through a bidding process.
All right. Okay. I see what he's doing.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Fee
covering all the bases.
Exactly.
Good for him.
Fee of $2 million to get the licenses for online casinos. Independent contractors that are working with a gaming platform in the state have to pay $10 million to do the work.
Okay.
Yes. And also any live dealer studios have to be located in the state of New York with an agreement with a labor union.
Okay. All right.
And also there's going to be an online lottery component to this bill. Multi-jurisdiction out-of-state lottery purchases. You're talking Mega Millions, Powerball.
Sure.
The multi-state stuff.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that. He's done this before, I believe. It hasn't gone far. Maybe this is going to start changing now, especially with the 3 downstate casinos coming into play.
Sure, absolutely.
I think also seeing exactly how the online sports betting industry is doing for the state, maybe changing a lot of people's minds.
I can tell you here in New Jersey, I'm seeing just as many online casino commercials than sportsbook commercials. So
I see a lot more if New York launches.
It's a huge. Well, look, for operators, they make more money with online casinos than online sports betting. So
yeah, sports betting is nice and it's hooky, but
yeah.
The real money comes from the online casinos and online lotteries too.
Sure.
That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. press releases, keep those coming in, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. If you've been watching on TV, we have a ticker flying by below us, additional news stories there that we didn't have a chance to cover in this half hour. And as always, Monday morning after this show is released, you will see a full print version of the Turnpike Sports book report on our blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button and you'll see the full print version there.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.